now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town radio tower, it's the one, the only, PoGo.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Claude9, and I'm one of the hosts of the Puclpodcast, a nonsensical name our fearless leader Thatch came up with back in 2007 in his basement. And here we are today. And today, I have some of my favorite co-hosts. Granted, all of my co-hosts are my favorite co-hosts. We have the ever-vigilant and intelligent Lynian.
After last night's match, Vigilant and Lifelink is about what I'm at. Hello.
And the ever-curious and creative Sharkfinnigan.
Hello.
So, tell me, what have you guys been up to? Pokemon life? Anything you want the listeners to hear?
I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know how you would, but planning a wedding is really annoying.
Yes. That's right.
It has been absorbing all of my time.
It's totally valid.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Is your family local, or are they having to travel in?
Oh, neither family's local. Both families are thousands of miles away. So
yeah, that makes it much harder then. Yeah, I can say that for sure.
Are you doing destination, or are you keeping it local to?
Well, for many complicated reasons, it makes way more sense for us to do it here.
Mm-hmm.
So that just means that for everyone on both sides, it ends up being destination. So it's like, okay, how do we try to keep this from breaking everyone's bank? So we can have people show, but also, like, how are we going to do this? It's going to be...
That's what... We had the same thing last year, where... we chose a destination, so it was purposely destination for both and not local to one and destination for the other. So, nope, everyone's going to have to move now. And, yeah, it was fun to coordinate that. I guess you could say fun. I didn't do it, so I had fun.
Fair enough.
Pokemon-wise, though, either of you.
I guess I beat the ROM hack Pokemon Too Many Types.
Oh, fun.
Ooh, I don't know that one.
Those. I want to play that. That looks fun.
It's a lot of fun right up until the champion fight, which is just straight up unfun. It's too much.
Oh yeah, I could just say that just based on that, how you have to get past it is insane.
There's 62 types.
Yeah, and Pokemon can have up to 3 types at once.
Oh my god.
And the champion has a Silvally, which has an Emerald type that basically makes it resist every type.
And then it has the type, which doubles the effectiveness of types.
Oh, the type. Okay,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But like some of the types are like there's the guys type, which are like Pokemon like Dugtrio and Magneton,
Phalanx.
Things. Yeah, Phalanx, where there's a lot of Pokemon. There's Crab type, which is crabs. So Crabrawler, Krabby, Golem,
Machamp,
yeah,
Deoxys.
Wait, Machamp is a crab?
Standard crabs.
Yeah, it's got 6 arms. It's a crab.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. That's wonderful. I love that.
There's the dance type, the vibe type.
Gamer type, Zoomer type.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very fun hack. Just I think it was Alpharad who helped commission it, and I've seen people play it. It is funny to see what types you can give to Pokemon. It's a base Emerald.
Yeah, several hundred new moves.
My next question is it Nuzlockable or no?
Probably. I mean, it even has the infinite candy stuff to help, but...
I would say it's Nuzlockable, but it's definitely,
difficult.
Up to the final fight, it's like, yeah, you got to play it perfectly, but it's definitely Nuzlockable, I would say.
All right, that sounds like a challenge. I'm ready.
The last fight is so difficult, I don't know if the game is functionally if you use a level cap, but
okay.
I guess you could.
Yeah, I think you can do it with the level cap. It's just you have to have you have to plan it out perfectly. Oh, what was it? The
Okay.
Why Not was stupid. I forgot about that Pokemon.
Yeah, because it's Baby Uno Reverse type, because Baby is weak to every type, and then Uno Reverse switches the types.
So it's not weak to anything.
No, it resists everything.
Exactly. It's like super bulky, and it's just, standard Wobbuffet shenanigans, but on a even bulkier little Why Not. But yeah, it's like if you watched how it was done, how people do the final fight, you could probably build a team that you can prepare for it, Nuzlocke-wise.
Okay.
Also, going in very blind and just using, because they have L to check the opponent's type just to make this even slightly doable. It's just nothing will prepare you for some of these, some of the moments where you just try to check what a Pokemon is and you sit there somewhere torn between laughing and in fear.
Shedinja sounds miserable.
Oh,
That's the Sans type.
yeah.
The what type?
Sans, like from Undertale.
Yeah. I got you. I just needed to hear it again.
Yeah, it's weak to very specific types and is immune to everything else by type, not by ability, so even stuff like Mold Breaker doesn't help.
Oh my gosh. So, Sandstorm.
Yep, it's a better version of Shedinja proper, but not,
Yeah.
still Shedinja, but
And
Okay.
Sans is, of course, weak to Sharp and Gamer type.
Obviously.
Yep.
Okay. This sounds fun.
Yeah. For me, I've been Pokemon-wise, I've been playing a little bit of Detective Pikachu with my wife, which it's been fine. It's been fun.
Yeah.
That is the most rousing defense of that game I've heard.
That it's not the worst game out there, but it's just fine.
I heard it was, it's 8 hours of the same thing.
It might be. I'm probably about an hour, 2 hours in. We still are almost done with the first case.
Well, that's what Joe Merrick said. It took him 8 hours. All right. Yeah, I've been, playing some TCG, trying to get back into it a little bit. Because, with regionals coming up at the end of the year, I need to sign up next week and hope I win.
Yeah, good luck getting in. I know it's going to be pretty packed.
Yeah. Granted, I know San Antonio has like 1,900 Masters spots available. So I think the odds are better than other areas. If I know the numbers correctly, I think Peoria was like 1,600, I think. So you add in a couple more. You also have to think it's closer to the holiday, so people may not want to travel right before Christmas. So
That's true, but I know Arlington was pretty packed, so I imagine San Antonio would too. 'Cause
I imagine
Arlington
it
was
would
the
be too.
same time last year.
Oh yes. Yeah. But we'll see. I have to try and get in. I know Seth and Shamu are going to try and get in as well. So once we get in, we'll get to start testing and all the fun stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's enough of that. All right. So we will catch you guys with our news segment.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And we are back with the news. All right, starting off with some of the news. Scarlet and Violet. By the time this episode releases, there'll probably have been announced some new event, since the Suing Decidueye will probably be done. Who knows whether that's going to be a new Paradoxmon, an Outbreak, 7-star. We don't really know because there hasn't been much of a pattern, but that is the updates that we have so far going into this. There should be a new raid-type Terra event.
Yep. And speaking of updates, Scarlet and Violet got an update to kind of fix some of the issues that came out with the Teal Mass expansion. The big one being that the game will count more than the 300 trainers being beat, which is important for the Ogre clan little quest line that you have. So
What is that?
that's a nice little update.
So, what happened, and I want to stress, I have no idea how this happens. I have no idea how you code a game like this. They would only track 300 trainers having been beaten.
Okay.
So if you battled 300 trainers in the base game, which is basically all of them, and then went to battle anyone in the DLC, the game would not flag them as defeated after you beat them, meaning you would not be able to complete the quest because you still, quote-unquote, have not beaten specific trainers.
And the quest line is like, if you beat X members, you get a reward each time you, like, a special reward for beating this many. So, not being able to beat them all sucks.
It's just like regular trainers in the game, or, you know...
All of them.
These...
Yes, this includes difficult, like, gym battles, as well as, like, little baby guys. Any 300
Oh my gosh.
trainers. It's fixed now. I don't know how that was a problem to begin with, I'm going to be honest.
I think it was something they didn't expect to be an issue, and it just turned into an issue.
I mean, that has to be it. I just don't know how there's...
Well, that's how most
that's saved in a
coding.
way where there's a cap, but whatever.
Yeah, it's like they maybe capped for, like, memory or usage or power or whatnot, and then it's like, oh, right, we should probably change that cap now because we're adding more things.
Following that whole thing... last week, Garchomp, where he was kicked down to UU. Yeah, he was banned from UU.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saralege and Komo-O were also sent out as well. That's very surprising to me on Saralege, just given the other stuff that fell, but I'm not opposed.
Saralege moved up because of Terra. The fact that it gets, like, the access to Terra that it has is just very, very strong.
I guess it also got Poltergeist, which was one of the big
reasons. That's why it was really big.
Terra Poltergeist is really good.
Yeah, Blood Moon Ursaluna was voted out of OU with one of the highest margins ever.
Yeah.
I was not playing. What was so bad about it as opposed to normal Ursaluna, etc.?
So, one, it's special, so it's a lot harder to handle. Two, the most common set that I was seeing were Calm Mind Vacuum Wave.
Yeah, that would do it. Priority.
So you have now Calm Mind, a priority fighting, which is very good. Then you have two other, a very good normal move and a very good ground move. Your coverage is just very, very strong.
And even if you don't run the Vacuum Wave, it has Moonlight. Which means it theoretically you could 1v1 a Corviknight. Like, I workshopped it. You could beat a Corviknight with this Ursaluna, which is resist. It's immune to one type and resist the other. Resist the other. Like, if you could beat a Corviknight with this Ursaluna, that's a problem.
And for the record, just because you asked about how big the margin was, there were 117 eligible voters. Out of that, only 76 people voted, and it was a 71-5 to ban it.
93 margin, which
93.242.
Which, given the modern era, like, I think since they've done the suspect tests and done quick bans to kind of keep some of these obvious things down, like, there hasn't been a vote that this. With that kind of margin. Yeah. Just because you quick ban this, like, the Genesect, the Pheromosa, all the stupid things the moment they come into the format.
And if you look at all the other stuff, even afterwards, there were, great, and they stopped it once it was over. There were still, 40-ish people that hadn't gotten a chance to vote yet. And even then, the majority of those people that still wanted to vote heard were banned.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Speaking of things that are probably overpowered and need to be banned, Unite's releasing a new character this week. It's Mimikyu.
I stopped playing Unite, and I'm like, oh gosh, this could be... I'm worried about it.
You're worried about it, like, getting... What?
Being broken on release, like a lot of other things are.
Oh yeah, but that's just Unite's life cycle. I don't doubt that. It's like seeing the new Pokemon on the pack of the TCG cards and being like, you're what they've decided is going to ruin the meta. Got it.
Yeah, it's like
they're pretty good about that. I mean, Mew hasn't taken over the meta yet, but it was also a small set.
It's like what they do in the base game. It's like, they drop Zacian and Zamazenta, and then next gen they nerf them.
Yep. Well, they realized
that's been new. They never fixed primals.
Well, that's the big thing, though, is they took the three biggest issues. from Gen 8, where, Zacian, Zamazenta, and Rillaboom's Grassy Glide, and they nerfed all three.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Libero. They nerfed Libero slightly. Alright, tell us about Go.
Alright, we're gonna knock through some mobile stuff here. First of all, they've announced a new feature called Party Play. Right now, it just kind of based on rumors and just kind of scanning what people are theorizing, it's likely going to be where you can be able to have a group of 4 people that are, in person, and y'all can be able to do raids and all sorts of things together that you get a little bonuses to your attack power and probably rewards and whatnot. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So if you're actually playing with people in the real world, you can actually do that and get some extra stuff. So that sounds fun. As well, the first part of the Halloween event has been announced. You get Grievard in the game now. Which will be fun.
Okay.
And there'll be an instance day on the 21st for Kastan Skorupi. And then one thing that the British gent wanted to highlight here, because I think it's just silly. In Pokemon Sleep, there's apparently a glitch that if you make your cooking pot, have a really large capacity, using, things like, there's, a power that, increases the size of your cooking pot, do it on a Sunday, and it, multiplies it and whatnot, and then you put in more ingredients into the pot, you can glitch your game. And so, yeah, don't put more things in your pot than you're supposed to. Also, why are you spending money? Because the only way to actually achieve this is actually if you spend real money to increase the size of your bag. And I'm like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm like, don't do that.
And that's Sleep. Who is paying for Pokemon Sleep?
Exactly.
I regret to inform you that answer is apparently my fiance.
All right, well, there's the answer.
I mean, as long as you're not doing.
No, he's not dropping $500. I just know that.
As long as you're not increasing your bag size to hold ingredients, because the only way,
I don't think he's done that. I will admit.
At least as long as he doesn't do, I can understand buying the boxes to get more Pokemon biscuits to catch more Pokemon, but don't increase the size of your bag. Please don't.
I do not believe he has.
Good.
Yeah. That's good. All right. Yeah. Into some TCG news. We now know the promos for the pre-releases for Paradox Rift. There's Xatu, Aegislash, Iron Bundle, and Chi-Yu. The only one that's probably going to matter is going to be the Xatu, because Xatu is a very good card for what it is, I believe. Yes.
Now, they finally announced what their We Have More Details are going to be regarding the Van Gogh exhibit. So, basically, the long and short of it is the Van Gogh promos that were there are going to be available for purchasing $30 of TCG product from the center website at some vague future point. So they're not going to be gone forever because some people could not help themselves.
Oh, in addition to that, the promo card is no longer available at the museum.
Yep.
Which, I understand why. It's all because of the scalpers are taking over and buying things and selling it, and now they're like, nope, we're going to have them everything available again later on, only through the website, only if you spend more than $30. Good luck.
Yep. And
it sucks that it has to happen, but it does. And I did see that it is going to be available in the Netherlands at a future date, sometime next year, just like at retailers there, but...
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, it eventually will come back, but sad that it couldn't be there while the exhibit's there.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can't have nice things. And man, I'm glad there's some workaround. I'm sorry that the workaround is spend an additional $30, but I really don't know what they could do without doing something like this that wouldn't have the same problem again.
Yeah. I would have, granted, I was looking to spend $30, so I just wanted the hat. I like Van Gogh art, so
I just wanted
the crossover was nice. Yeah, well, that I like the Snorlax and Munchlax art they had for it. Or I was considering even getting a playmat. Like, oh, these are cute. I like this. This is fun. But All right. I think that's all of the news that we have. I'm pretty sure since as we approach the end of the year, there will be a new survey coming out for the end of the year from PUCL. So please make sure to pay attention to that, because I know there will be some sort of rewards if we hit certain number of people responding to that, knowing that. And the PUCL Poke prediction. Do you think they'll release the Hisui starters back to back or mix up the Sinnoh starters into the rotation? I assume this is for the Terror Raids.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do them back to back to back, because if they start doing anything else, they're going to hit rather quickly here the time when they'll be normally available.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Like the timing of because those are the new Pokemon that were really brought in with the home update. I think what they did before, they kind of shifted around the starters. I think they will throw in the Sinnoh starters next. Or at least one of the Sinnoh starters next.
And I'm going to add in an extra.
It'll be Infernape. I'm cold calling Infernape.
I'm going to add in an extra question into here just for fun. When do you think they're going to drop the next DLC? Because all we know is winter 2020.
Let me look at a calendar and I'll give you the exact date.
Okay.
What did I have?
Either the 12th or the 26th of December.
Of December?
Yep, that's my guess.
Why on a Tuesday?
Because that was, well, it would be Wednesday in Japan.
Okay,
but
yeah.
that was the release date of.
Interesting.
Because it came out midweek when the eShop updated for that. I think it was a Tuesday. If I was wrong on the day of the week, then just shift it to that day. But I think it's either the second or the last week of December.
It came out at I think it was 10 p.m. my time or something like that on a Tuesday. So,
no, it was middle of the day, because it was out when I got home from work.
Oh, yeah.
I remember
when I was starting PTU, so 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I think it was 8 p.m. Central was when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, though. Yeah. I can see that. But you're convinced it's going to be 13 or 20.
Yeah,
12
one of
26.
those 2 weeks and not the one in the middle.
Why not the one in the middle?
I don't know, but I have a feeling. Typically the eShop updates on second and fourth week, if I remember right, for their non specifically released stuff. So
all right,
those track.
I'm going to take the opposite, and I'm going to say I think it's going to be the first week of December.
The first full week, or that? That
first full week of December,
5 and 6.
5, 6 is my guess. That's my guess.
I'm kind of thinking 5, 6 as well. I feel like it's gonna be 5, 6 because I think supposedly they're dropping the physical versions of the DLC packs that week, and I'm let's go ahead and make it happen all at the same time. So that's where I'm kind of going. I could see it going any time of December before Christmas, but I think
because I know they normally, if they follow their normal pattern of a new game would have dropped November 17th because it's always the week before Thanksgiving. So there is the thought that it could just drop in a month and with no context. But I figured they would do some sort of let people know.
And also, I feel like that would be. I guess it's technically in winter, but I feel like it was going to be December because they said it was this year. Otherwise, I would start looking at January at this point.
If you look at winter is technically December 21st through March 20th is technically considered winter. Because I believe that's when the winter solstice is the 21st. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if you do that super strict definition of it, but typically when businesses are talking, they go December, January, February is winter, March, April, May is spring, June, July, August is summer, etc. for fall.
Oh yeah, I think it'll drop before Christmas because I think they want people to buy the thing and have it available on Christmas Day.
I think the thing being released right around Christmas is enough of a draw that because there's already some existing content that I'm not convinced it's pre-Christmas, but I think it'll be that month.
Well, in my mind, they want to be able to drop a package deal with the Switch, Scarlet Violet, and the DLC all together.
But they can do that without all of the DLC being out is more what I'm getting at.
I don't think they would do that, though.
That's fair. I just don't think it's required either.
No, I don't think so either. But I think that's what, if I were a company, like, okay, I don't want to release something and make people have to wait to get the full product. But that's enough rambling on that topic. But that's it for the news. So up next, we're going to test our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
And thank you very much, Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, for helping us out with that intro. Alright, are you guys ready for the Puckle Poke Quiz?
I am ready.
Yeah, great, awesome.
I didn't realize that wasn't rhetorical.
No, I was actually doing it out. Okay, so our first question. Let's go with this. From the Once and Future Gamer. Which Pokemon is classified as the shell-out Pokemon?
The shell-out Pokemon?
The shell-out Pokemon.
Exceligor is my first thought.
Is it shell out?
Because, like, it gets out of its shell. That's its whole thing.
Because it's not... You said Exceligor?
Mm-hmm.
I can go with that. That sounds right to me. I'm trying to think of anything else that screams.
I can't think of anything else that gets out of its shell, and the other thing would be like some weird reading where it's like its shell has now like left, like it's now shells out, but nothing. A shell wouldn't start inside. That's not how shells shell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say Exceligor, unless you have something else. Final answer.
I can't think of anything else that's quite screams it.
All right. Exceligor is correct.
Yay!
It's for the exact reason that Lynian gave it. From shellmet, it breaks out of its shell and becomes very fast. So it's
good
the
for him.
Out Pokemon. Yeah. All right. Your next question has to do with the anime. In the anime, Go caught a shiny Pokemon, and only one shiny Pokemon. What shiny Pokemon did Go catch?
I want to say it's Voltorb, because I remember there was a shiny Voltorb, but that was a whole episode about shiny Pokemon.
It's not one he uses a lot, so I could see it being Voltorb because that's the only shiny Pokemon I can think of that they did feature in that episode. I don't remember if they did anything else. No, Voltorb sounds right to me because I do remember that, or at least seeing that on Cerebi.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yep.
Voltorb is correct. You guys are 2 for 2 right now.
Yay! So, I remember there was a Pokemon there was a trainer who liked blue shinies.
Well, he liked shiny Pokemon, and his goal was to try and create the shiny decks. But I think he only had a couple of them. And I remember that episode being the one where they fought Golurk, not him catching the Voltorb. But I could entirely be wrong.
He came back later, I think.
Okay, there may have been 2 episodes with him. Okay. Because I remember him being there where they were discovering the giant Golurk, and which Go eventually catches as well. But either or. Alright. Question 3 is your Pokedex question. And this one comes from Elite 4 Branded? Either way. Its Soul Silver entry reads, "It always hides in grass. When first born, it has no poison, so its bite is painful, but harmless." Who's that Pokemon?
My first thought is Ekans, but I mean, what's a Pokemon that hides in grass? All of them.
It's not a water type. Well, most water types, actually.
That would be a very weird entry for Tentacool, I will say that. It's definitely poisonous.
Yeah, and I'm trying to
or
think
venomous. It might be poisonous, but it's definitely venomous.
because it's.
I mean, it's Gen 4. Are there any other poisonous snakes? Because snakes are known for hiding in the grass. That's why they have that expression, a snake in the grass.
Seviper, but Seviper is going to have something more about Zangoose.
Or
and
its
not
tail.
being about being a baby.
Yeah, or about its tail.
Yeah, that's very true too. Anything poison? Because I don't think it's going to be Zubats, any of the Zubat line. I'm going to think of other poison types that might. I can't think of anything. I'm like, maybe. I mean, it could be. I could almost go Poochyena.
But
almost.
Yeah, as everyone knows, baby hyenas, one of the most venomous creatures on this earth.
No, but at least I know it has Poison Fang as like a move it can learn.
Not in Gen 4!
Pretty sure it should. Well, actually, Poison Fang I don't think came out in Gen 4. You're right. Okay, all right. That's fair.
Ekans' final answer. Okay, let's get to the next entry.
Okay, Ekans is correct.
Hey!
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, the other dex entry was, its Scarlet entry reads, it can freely detach its jaw to swallow large prey whole. It can become too heavy to move, however. And for your record, Poison Fang came out in Gen 3.
Oh, see? Okay, I was close. I could have
Yeah, but I
been.
didn't
It
think
could
it
have
was
been Poochyena.
an egg move for a while.
Okay, now the question is, I need to see if Poochyena
So
can learn
actually, and
Poison
funny
Fang.
enough, Poochyena gets it in Gen 3 thanks to it being a Shadow Pokemon, and it was one of the moves it gets when you purify it. So I'm like, I remember there being Poison Fang Poochyena from somewhere, and I had to figure out
Yeah,
where.
an instant egg
Yep.
move.
Yep. All right, you guys are doing great so far. I think you're 4 for 3 because you didn't need the extra dex entry.
Yep.
All right, so your multiple choice question. This is worth 2 points. For there's 4 answers. For every 2 that you give me, I will give you a single point. And this one comes from Farmer Fox. Rock type moves are known to have pretty terrible accuracy, but there are 4 rock type attacks, not moves that change into a rock type, that are actually just pure rock type from the start, that have 100% accurate. What are they?
Smackdown, Power Gem are 2 of them.
And I have the other 2, Salt Cure and, oh god, where'd it go? A Cell Rock.
I'm going to repeat this just for sure. What 4 rock type attacks?
Those are all attacks.
I meant like damaging moves.
Yeah, Salt Cure deals damage. A Cell Rock
Yeah.
deals damage.
Okay. Salt Cure was not on this list, but sure.
Well,
Yeah.
let's see. Does it? Well, then maybe it doesn't have let's double check.
I'm going to double check that now, because Salt Cure is not on my list, and you might be right with that. I think they were looking for moves that had like a base power. It does have base power, though.
Yeah, it has 40 base power.
Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. So there's 5 actually. All right.
Look at us. We got.
Wait, what's the 5th one then?
That's for.
Oh, you
all
said
right, so
what was your 2? Ancient Power, Power Gem.
I said no. I said Power Gem and Smackdown. So
Well, then Ancient Power is the last
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Then you got them all. Yeah. It's a Cell Rock, Ancient Power, Power Gem, Smackdown, and Salt Cure, which wasn't
Look
on
at
my list.
us.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. I mean, all these questions today in my mind have been a little easy. So we have one final base stat question for you.
No.
You are 6 for 4. If you get this without the hint, you get 8 points. If you don't, well, you have 6. All right. As this one comes from Polywo. As Shedinja is an outlier, what fully evolved ghost type has the second lowest HP?
Okay, so Sajinja is the first lowest, so you want the next one.
Yes, because Shedinja is 1.
Okay.
So
that would be
the second lowest ghost HP.
Yes.
First
'Cause hit
thought
points
is
cured.
Dusclops.
Duskull would have less, I would imagine.
What
said
fully
fully
evolved
Oh,
ghost?
that is a very important word that I missed.
Yes.
So Dusknoir is...
I think it's 70.
Yeah, so it's gotta be more than that. Or rather, less than that. None of the Ultra Beasts have terribly low HP.
Because I don't
What about-
think... I think... Oh, go ahead.
There are
What
a lot of
about-
ghost types, just saying.
No, Dusknoir does not have 70.
Does it have less? Maybe it's
It
less.
has to, because I know that it has basically it has to have below base 60 because its defenses are 135. So if it had base 70 HP, it would still have more effective HP than Dusclops.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah,
it's
I know
gotta
it's
be
not like
low.
high. I just know it's one of the lowest ones. Maybe I just said 70 and it should have been way lower.
The only
Maybe it's
thing
70 attack or something. I don't know.
The only thing else I can think that's really low is like Spiritomb for a similar thing, because I know that one's base 50.
I think Dusknoir has less.
Well, yeah, and Rotom I think also has 50, assuming
Yeah.
that
this has
'cause
less
it-
than
it's-
Rotom.
Yeah, because its base HP
And
doesn't
Rotom's
change
50.
across
yeah,
those
yeah,
forms.
Yeah. Dusknoir is way less. Yeah. Yeah, I just have my numbers wrong. Why did I say? Yeah. Anyway,
I still think it's probably Dusknoir.
because I mean, there's.
Is that your final answer?
I'm good with it. I mean, the other options are like, maybe like Poltergeist, Trevenant. No, all those just feel like they have just a little bit more.
No, Poltergeist is around base 70, because I had to build a Sinistcha and PTU this week, and it had around that for the base.
Yeah, nope, I'm good with it. Dusclops.
All right, so let me give you the Pokemon that are at 50 base HP first, just to keep this interesting. At 50 fully evolved, you have Rotom, Spiritomb, Sableye. At 45, you have Dusknoir. So you got it right.
Yeah,
I thought for a second that
I was worried there was
Rodriguez was
gonna
going to
be one
throw me
above
off.
Oh yeah, and then 53 is still set
and at 44, it's
I was so waiting for that.
I had to give it some kind of, challenge there. But yeah, that is... You guys got 8 points, and that's going to change up the standings quite a bit. All right. So, we have, bottom to top, we have Cloud9 at 12, Sublime at 14, Jushiro at 17, R Sigma at 17, Whimsicott at 17, Mark at 20, Shamu at 20, Shark now at 28, Seth Vilo at 31, and Lynian at 36.
yay!
4 points away.
Huzzah!
Yeah. The other question I had, I'm just curious if you would know it off the top of your head, was the lowest base HP for water types.
Oh, I have.
All water types?
Wishy-washy would be up there.
Oh, fully evolved water types. Sorry.
Wishy-washy.
That's third. But okay.
Wug trio.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, it was
I
there.
didn't think
Yeah,
it was
it would've
terribly
come there.
difficult. I'm like, all right, you would have gotten there eventually. I'm like, all right, just making sure. Yeah. All right. So great job. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our Puckle Poke Quiz, and we'll catch you in just a moment with our topic.
Are you addicted to cardboard like myself and Seth? Maybe you want to pick up a booster box of Obsidian Flames next week. Well, the best way to do it is to support the show by going to trollandtoad.com and using code PucklePod5 at checkout. Whenever you do so, we get a small kickback, and we really appreciate the support. So make sure, if you're buying anything, whether it's Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, you can head on over to trollandtoad.com and use code PucklePod5 at checkout. Get a 5% kickback for using the code and supporting the show. We appreciate everything you guys do, and we will catch you on the flip-flop.
Hello, everyone, and we are here today with our topic, Pokemon crossovers. There's been a lot of stuff in the news recently about the Mitsuhine crossover with Pokemon, and Pokemon's just done a whole bunch of this kind of stuff before in various of their own games. Like, there was a Pokemon / Final... Oh, what's it? Was it not Final Fantasy? Fire Emblem with Pokemon Conquest. They've done Pokemon crossing over into the fighting game realm with the Smash Brothers series and with Pokken Tournament. You have various different puzzle games with Pokemon puzzle games. There's been Pokemon Tetris. There's a Pokemon Yahtzee, Pokemon Pinball. So they've taken the Pokemon style and put it over a whole bunch of other types of games to make their own unique, fun little spin on things. So I'm curious from you guys, what are some of your favorite Pokemon crossovers that you've had so far, and ones you would love to see in the future?
So, for stuff that already exists, there's a lot of kind of one-off merch that Pokemon Center gets in Japan. But I think a lot of the larger projects have always been more interesting. I think the crossover with Nobunaga's Ambition that they did for Pokemon Conquest is probably one of the gold standards for really taking Pokemon and doing something interesting with it in another kind of format. And I'd really like to see them further investigate what other games could do well with that kind of a Pokemon. Not quite just coat of paint. I don't want Mario Kart, but it's just like you hit item boxes and get held items. Okay, now I do actually want that, but what I'm trying to say is I'd like more than just a light coat of paint. I think that you can really evaluate what you're getting out of it. I mean, Mystery Dungeon was originally a crossover.
Well, it seems all the Mystery Dungeon games are considered crossovers. And if you go out of the Pokemon game realm, I still think of all of the different Pokemon food crossovers that are like, oh, we're going to take all the Kraft mac and cheese and make them Pokemon shaped. And I don't know why I always thought it tastes better when it was shaped versus just being little noodles. Or like, all right, Pokemon Pop-Tarts and they have little sprinkles on them.
I would bet that the tasted better because more surface area means you were getting more cheese and less cheap noodle.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah.
And I mean, we still get a few of those today. I think, what was it, recently, like Kung Fu Tea crossover with Pokemon Go specifically.
There was a Kung Fu Tea?
Yeah, there was one over, I think, the past summer. They have one right now with Pikmin 4.
I wish I realized that. I would have gone to my local Kung Fu Tea and gotten it.
Yeah. It's like they made them all Pokemon stops and then like had some Pokemon Go themed flavor. So, and similar with Pikmin 4, and apparently they're now Kung Fu Tea is doing one with Spirit Halloween, but that's beside the point.
Well, that's fun.
If we're talking Pokemon food crossovers, get me some really edgy art Giratina. Get a crossover with Liquid Death sparkling water.
That'd be fun.
That could be great. You could call it like, I don't know, Pomeg Punch or something, and then just have Giratina becoming that skull logo.
Mm-hmm. That's the type of thing that I would love to see more of if, you keep the food realm. Is we have all these Pokemon berries that are clearly, based off of real berries and stuff that we have. I'd love to see like actual all right, this is a Pokemon drink and it's Pomeg berry flavored, or this is cherry berry, and like that way you can clearly get a chance to see it and stuff. And I think I heard there's going to be a Pokemon cookbook, or I may be making that up. I'd love to see a Pokemon cookbook where they make the traditional stuff from the games or from the anime. That'd be a fun little crossover to have.
Maybe it's just because the new episodes are going up on Netflix, but I just was thinking of the Great Galarian Bake Off.
The Great Galarian Bake Off.
A really good, like 30, like a 1 hour special where they get some Poketubers and then get the hosts from the Great British Bake Off and then do like Pokemon themed things.
Or you animate the whole thing and have it be different characters from the show, like Brock and like a random like Nurse Joy, or Tracy's there.
As long as they do not animate Paul Hollywood, everyone else, and I do mean literally everyone else, is animated, and there's just...
That's the type of crossover I would love to see. Like crazy things like that, where it's like, oh cool, we can take something that's known and beloved and just, all right, we'll throw the Pokemon cover on it, and like those things like that, a one-off would be great.
Wait, they actually did do something. Oh my gosh. I was trying to figure out, like, when you're saying this, I'm like, there's gotta be, because my wife and I, we love watching food shows. And it's like, one of the ones that always, like, kind of comes up in the thing just that we see is, like, Food Network's, like, baking challenge or whatnot. It's like, there's gotta be some sort of, like, Pokemon baking one. There's gotta be one. Yes, there was a Cake Wars episode that did Pokemon.
Oh my god.
Looks like it was 2019, maybe? I don't know, I'm gonna look for this episode, but yeah, I see, like, a Pikachu here that looks like it's a part of, like, a trophy type, like, display. I'm trying to see. I'll probably have to dig and see if I can find this episode now. I will drop the image for y'all to see here.
That is phenomenal.
It's a Pokemon cake. So there is something, and I was like, there's probably something like that. I'm like, oh my god, there is.
That is wild, and I love it.
Thinking of that also, going into other things that are kind of fun ones. Fashion. Because I know for sure that, like, Pokemon Crocs recently came out, like, I think the last year or so. I've actually got, like, the sandal versions of those, which is just nice, like, kind of go-around type shoes. But I know there's so many different fashion type things that are out there. It's kind of cool that you just, like, if only the 101 was, like, cheaper, like, I would totally be buying a bunch of those shirts where it's just, like, the subtle Pokemon.
Yeah, like, imagine if there was, I don't know, like, every single Pokemon had a fabric, but it was, like, kind of stealth, and you could get it in several different varieties, including Hawaiian shirt. I have no idea why that wouldn't work.
If only it didn't cost $100.
This is a joke before you email and be like, it actually, yes.
Yes, we know. I think I have two of the shirts. I think Thatch has a couple of them too.
I was trying to buy one right as it went down, but I could never get through.
It went down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it closed. It's no longer a thing.
I did not realize Original Stitch was gone.
Yeah, Original Stitch died. That was why I was like, nothing bad would ever happen to it. Yeah.
Oh, well, dang. That's sad. All right. Yeah, that makes me sad now. I really enjoy those shirts because, granted, I got one that was the Hawaiian shirt. I'm like, okay, even in the small, it was too big. And then I got another one. I think I got a Crobat, and it fits perfectly. I'm like, I just changed the style slightly. I'm like, all right, cool. I figured out the right thing for this, and yeah, sad days. But you know, that's what happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, you can look at it. You know, anything. I feel like there's been a lot of Pokemon crossovers we don't even realize. Because I know when they did the World Cup, there was a whole bunch of soccer Pikachus and whatnot around.
Yeah.
Like they're always trying to find their way in there, and they always do collabs with random artists. Like I know they did a thing with Ed Sheeran that's in Scarlet Violet.
I want to say that you cannot overestimate how much crossover marketing happens in Japan at any time with any product.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever see like a picture out of like, I don't know, a Japanese 7-Eleven or something, every single item will be having a current crossover. Your snack will be having a crossover. The drinks will be all of these different limited flavors or different limited packaging, or like all of Japanese consumer goods are constantly in a state of eternal crossover. The Fortnitification of the supermarket has never been better. All of what we have suggested so far is extremely feasible.
And granted, a lot of that is just geared towards, you know, the kids. Just because it's so much easier for, like, you know, to get them excited about something if they're involved, one way or another. Because in my mind, like, oh, I love the idea. Oh, if I'm going to buy a regular soda, or, oh, I can buy this soda with Pokemon on it. Yes. Same
I'm going to let you know, in Japan, it's straight up difficult to buy a regular soda sometimes.
Well, yeah, but, like, it makes sense that some of these things are a lot more interesting than others.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it happens to be. But yeah. So I want to hear about some crossovers you would love to see happen from your side.
It can't happen for many, many, many reasons.
Yeah, but you can still give me your thoughts, and
not the least of which being both companies hate each other with a passion rarely seen. But after the recent Doctor Who Commander decks have come out, I have been thinking and have come up with several ideas, more than we have time or energy to get into in this, to a level of specificity that's probably not healthy, of how you could do a Pokemon Magic the Gathering crossover.
Yeah.
Now that would be fun.
It would be fun. I could absolutely see why they would never do it again.
For reference, Wizards of the Coast, the company that makes Magic the Gathering, used to be the distributor for Pokemon in the States, and the original printers and, like, designers. That was one of the most messy corporate breakups ever, involving both companies going scorched earth to try to hurt the other's brand as much as possible.
That is very true.
So it'll never happen, but it could be really cool.
I think you're right. I do think it could be really, really cool.
Look, you just get Professor Oak as a red, green, blue commander. Who cares about creature types being like a variety of creature types? You're done.
Okay. That would be a very fun crossover. You're right.
And I mean, I'm trying to think, there was something that was ish close to like having a Pokemon in another game. Have y'all heard of Smash Up?
Yes.
Smash Up? What's Smash Up?
I love Smash Up. That's legitimately one of my favorite board question mark games.
Do you know they have a bajillion expansions now, and they actually have had crossovers with Munchkin and Disney. They had a set that was called, I think, in Japan or whatnot.
Big in Japan. I have this set. It's a great set as well.
And they have a Pokemon-themed Smash Up pack in there.
It's very good. So how Smash Up works is you take two factions and then shuffle the decks together and then play a game where each player has like two different ones. So you could be like Zombie Wizards versus Ninja Bears or Tornado Greeks. Greek myth, and one of them in the Big in Japan set was very clearly just Pokemon.
Oh.
Itty critters with creatures such as Tadpore, Shellshock, Krakatoad.
We really need to play this at PuckleCon on stream, just because we could have Thatch play the most Thatch deck known to man. It would be Pokemon and Power Rangers.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, there's a Power Ranger set it's called Mega Troopers, quote, quote, but it's Power Rangers.
Okay, that's interesting. I was not thinking that, like, you know, at the start, but it makes sense now that you say that. Because in my mind, any sort of card game you can, like, throw Pokemon into just becomes fun. In my mind. Like, it becomes its own fun little adventure.
Mm-hmm.
That is neither here nor there. Okay. So the other thing that I was looking at that I'm like, all right, cool. I think this would be a lot of fun as far as a crossover would be. See, I was thinking, like, my mind went to Transformers originally, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to see like Pokemon Transformers where they transform into these robot Pokemon. Then I'm like, no, that's not fun. That's boring. No one's gonna like that. And then I thought about it again, and I'm like, how can we make this better? And the answer, I don't have an answer for. But, you know, it's there. I like the idea of there being some sort of things that transform into Pokemon-esque type thing.
I mean, Pokemon, like a toy that just like unfolds into a Pokemon is great.
Yes, exactly.
Especially if they have like, if they're Pokeball toys that like unfold into the Pokemon that's in them.
Oh yeah, exactly. Something along those lines looks really, really cool.
I mean, I've got one of those. It's a Voltorb, and then I can, you know, turn it into a Pokeball.
The closest I have is the Mega Block, like, was it? I think it's Mega Blocks that does it.
Mega Blocks or Duplo or something.
Or it's the basically, because obviously Pokemon and Lego would be great together, but Pokemon has a relationship with basically, quote, I would say it's knockoff Lego, but I mean it's basically that in the States. And they have some fun Lego like sets, and there's some that are like Pokeballs, and I have like a Magikarp one that you like. That's the Pokeball, and there's a Magikarp you can put in or out of it, which is cute. Mega Constructs, excuse me. That's what it is.
How are they using the knockoff version of Mega Blocks?
Yeah. Yeah, that's odd.
But I mean, if you go to Target, you literally will see them, and it's like, they're there. It gives they have some cool looking stuff. Like, they have like a moving Gyarados where you can like have it swim around or whatnot, and all these other sort of things. I'm like,
because as much fun as it is to have like these crossovers with toys, I'd really like there to be a different like crossover type game. Like, I know you joked about Mario Kart with Pokemon, but like, I wish there was a way to do that was different. You know, not just like all right, you're gonna race on this track, and instead being like, all right, you're a Pokemon trainer, and you have to get. I'm thinking like the Chow Garden from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, when you had all those different races.
Unfortunately, you have invented Banjo and Kazooie again. That's simple.
Unfortunately, you have invented Pokathlon, but a separate game.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking of, pretty much. But you have a different... Well, instead of it being one Pokemon for each thing, it's a different Pokemon for each leg of the race, and you have to train them up, and it's, you know... I'm trying to combine different aspects.
No, I don't disagree. I think it's a great idea.
If we're doing a lot of different events, wait, we cut out the middleman. We'll finally have the true crossover everyone wants. Mario and Sonic and Pikachu at the Olympic Games.
Oh yeah, Mario and Sonic Olympic Games, but it's Pokemon. Like, what could Pokemon and Digimon at the Olympic Games? Maybe this is the crossover we've been waiting for.
And then it's just like, oh, we get to finally realize just how terrifying Digimon's scale. So it's like Pikachu versus Agumon, kind of fair. Pikachu versus War Greymon.
Yeah. If Pokemon really wanted to make money with a crossover game, all they need to do is just is to go to Minecraft and just put make an actual Pokemon game with it.
Who would ever play Pokemon Minecraft? That would never, ever be successful.
Seeing how the number of content creators recently playing said Pokemon Minecraft mod.
That would never happen. Like, Pixelmon was tiny. That's why it was good that it got hit with that C&D there. Pokemon Minecraft would ruin at least someone.
Because part of me is thinking, like, is there a way to do, like, a JRPG Pokemon game? But, like, instead, you don't catch Pokemon. It's just like you are playing as a Pokemon that evolves and gets stronger throughout. And then again, I'm looking at this, I'm like, great, that's pretty much just Mystery Dungeon.
You could almost go farming sim, like Stardew Valley-esque type game, where you don't necessarily catch, but only just having community, but...
That could be really nice, actually.
Ooh. And you have to go help, other trainers and whatnot. Help, hey, I'm looking for this type of Pokemon. Can you help me find it?
Okay, wait. I'm going to say 3 words, and I think I'm going to be able to sell you both on it. You ready?
Okay.
Safari Zone Tycoon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We technically had that in Gen 4 with a Heart Gold Soul Silver.
No, we did not. We had, you could put things in level... No, I'm saying that it's Zoo Tycoon, but it's Pokemon.
Yeah, no, it's the one step up of that. It's like, I love how every time we come up with like an idea, it's like, they kind of did this. They just need to go one step further. Come on now.
But yeah, so like what you do is you build enclosures to like Zoo Tycoon where you're putting in the things, but then you have trainers coming in and catching, so you also have some ecosystem balancing. And you can even have some Pokemon that are like more desirable to be caught, so that increases how many people are visiting, and then...
What about you? You can also do this with a gym.
I mean, yes, there's a ROM hack called Pokemon My Own Gym or something to that effect. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but like, I'm thinking like you can design, or at that point, let people take a certain set amount of Pokemon, and you have to design your own region or your own gym. And based on, how people come, you get access to more things, and you can keep growing it, and you get to make the puzzles, whatnot, for people to fight and go through. I think that type of thing would be really, really cool. I'm just trying to find a way to use the Pokemon shell in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
In before someone starts bringing up there should be like a Pokemon dating sim. No, there shouldn't. Canceled now.
No, it doesn't work well.
Exactly. But I had to mention it before someone else brings it up, and I'm like, no, we're not doing this.
There are some things that just aren't going to work. I don't want to see a Pokemon Souls-like, okay?
Pokemon Dark Souls, there we go.
I've been playing a game in the past couple weeks called Fate Samurai Remnant, and part of the shtick is you are not that strong. All of these spirits that you're fighting are super strong. You have allies who do the fighting against that. You're there to basically play support. It's very fun. It doesn't sound like it would be, but it is. One of the first bosses you fight, if he hits you, takes about 2/3 to 3/4 of your hit points and just drops it if he hits you. You are not there to fight. I don't think that is the only way I think you could do this kind of a Pokemon game unless you're playing as one yourself. And I don't think Mystery Dungeon would be better if it was Elden Ring. So
Very true. Like part of me would love the idea of as we mentioned, Banjo-Kazooie, but it's just Pokemon.
I feel like anytime that it ends with "but it's just Pokemon," I'm a little less interested because I like the games that manage to rework those core mechanics in a way that adds to the Pokemon angle.
Well, granted, at that point, then we really just need Mario Party, but Pokemon Party.
Yeah, Pokemon Party could be really fun, and you could do home support.
Well, that's the thing is if you take the Pokemon Party-esque type thing, where it's, okay, you're on a little map and you're trying to, run around and, collect badges. I don't know. You could even, and all the minigames could be different. You could even have, part of it being a battle minigame. Where it's here, you're given this team of 3 a single Pokemon, 3 Pokemon, pick one to go fight. And that's it.
All I'm thinking is, we could, because they used to have, Pokemon Ranch, Pokemon Box. We have Pokemon Home now, but I'm just thinking of a $10 title with home connectivity that lets you use your Pokemon in those mini games. and lets you earn points to unlock special Pokemon. That could be really cool. And not, if you keep the scale small and don't sell it as a $60 title, you could get away with a lot and people would just love it. You've got the models for a lot of the Pokemon.
I think that would work really, really well. Because the only other thing that I see that might be fun in that aspect would be... No, come back to me.
It will. It may.
I had an idea and then I lost it.
That's how you know it was a good idea, when you can't remember it.
Exactly. It's the problem. Dang, it was right there. And granted, half of this is just me wanting Stadium back, but its own separate stadium. But, Lynian, what were you talking about? I need to just retrace my steps.
You said that and all of my thoughts fled.
Oh, no!
Well, I'm just gonna... I will derail this and talk about one last little crossover that I just it just kind of showed up on my Twitter feed, and it's just like, I forget these existed because they're locked in my childhood. It's more of the crossovers in between as commercial breaks in the WB when you watch it as a kid. You know, when during the credit scenes, like, they try to tie in two of their shows together, so you see something like Batman Beyond and Pokemon, like, having some sort of interaction or whatnot, or like... Okay, yeah. It's just like all these little dumb little things that they do, like, what was it? I saw one that was like Men in Black, like the Men in Black cartoon, and one of the characters gets Bulbasaur as their, like, partner instead. And it's like, why'd you pick him? And it's like built-in weaponry, and Bulbasaur, like, used Razor Leaf on the other guy.
What's your partner? A Moongus.
But it's Bulbasaur in a suit. Like, it's so dumb. Like, I'm just gonna drop this in there. Like,
if Dog wears pants, would he wear them?
See, because, like, I really like the idea behind Detective Pikachu as an idea.
What?
Yeah, no, look at this. Like,
as an idea on paper, but I feel like the execution just wasn't where it needs to be. Like, I wish Detective Pikachu was like a short miniseries, like a TV show versus a, like, game or a movie. And it's like, oh, cool. All these, like, little, like, mysteries you're solving in, like, a Scooby-Doo-esque style fashion versus it being, you know, its own separate thing.
I don't know. I feel like they're torn between needing to appeal. I think, actually, Detective Pikachu is a good litmus test of if something isn't a great one. Because can this game be made in a way that is appealing to Pokemon's core demographic without taking away the reason it appeals to its own? And I think Detective Pikachu is probably kind of like an example of what happens when there's a mismatch, because any difficult puzzles or interestingly deep themes, that's going to get washed out in the fact that it needs to appeal to a 10-year-old. And that's basically all a visual novel has.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I had recently played Code Rain, which is basically the Danganronpa, like, new successor that just came out, and, like, that just in just the gameplay itself, where there's a few more puzzles, like, in terms of the deducing, and when you do that, and then just also, like, if you do little side missions, you technically have, like, a little reward. I mean, it's not much more, but at least it gives you something compared to the Detective Pikachu game, where the one that just came out, it's like, oh, they have little side things, but I have not seen a benefit of doing it yet. So it's just like, oh, cool, you help them out. Okay. Yeah. It's like, I wish it were a little deeper.
I think that's the problem that with a lot of these Pokemon crossovers have is it has to be appealed to a 10-year-old. And I think if there was a way for, you know, they can do certain things that also appeal to the older generation, I think they would get more out of it.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
No, I wouldn't disagree.
You know, granted, this is just our pipe dream because, you know, things never end up going the way we want them to.
Nope, that's why you can fully expect to see the next Pokemon crossover, Pokemon Fortnite, coming out next year.
Seeing Pikachu do the gritty.
I don't know what that is. I'm gonna assume it's some cursed TikTok dance, and I'm just gonna die happier.
Funny enough, I know the dance not from TikTok, but from football. Because people have done it in the end zone, like as a touchdown dance, and I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, I think that's what we got.
I think that's what we got for the topic today. Yeah, alright. Great. Then we will catch you all over at our poke of the episode.
Poke of the episode.
And we are back with our Pokemon of the episode. And today's poke of the episode is Rillaboom, the drummer Pokemon.
The Hatsune Miku Pokemon.
Also true.
Its Pokemon Shield entry reads, "The one with the best drumming techniques becomes the boss of the troop. It has a gentle disposition and values harmony among its group."
Yeah. By drumming, Rillaboom can tap into the power of its special tree stump, causing roots. I'm just reading through the biology on the Bulbapedia page.
And also, it can get down with the sickness.
Very, very
The actual
true.
crossover we need.
Wait!
Down with the poker.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
This is what we're missing. It's a Pokemon band. With Rillaboom, Toxtricity,
Obstagoon,
Obstagoon.
Chatot. Like all the Pokemon that you see, like a lot of the Pokemon you see with the Hatsune Miku, just some of, like half of those work really
my
well
gosh.
as a band.
We have it. We figured it out. This is the... Alright. Anyways.
Rillaboom's back. It's got Grassy Glide again, so therefore it's now actually relevant in VGC.
Even though Grassy Glide got nerfed, it's still really good.
Yeah, 10 base power less, but I mean, still hits hard in grassy terrain, and it's now up there in usage. Yeah, based off Peoria really, like, that metagame shifted a lot.
I'm excited to see how it changes with this past weekend with Sacramento, which you guys will know at the time of this, but we don't now.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, we got a team for you. I think this team finished third in Peoria Regionals. It was Shiliang Tong's team, I'm guessing. Maybe.
Yeah, that's...
I hope I pronounced that right.
Tang Shilong or whatnot, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, they have a Rillaboom with a Citrus Berry, Grassy Surge ability, Terra Fire with Fake Out, Woodhammer, U-Turn, and Grassy Glide. I'm assuming it's here to fake out, hit things hard, switch out, come back in later. Mm-hmm. Standard Rillaboom stuff. It hasn't changed much since Gen 8.
Bulky momentum priority.
Pretty much. And then there's also an Iron Bundle on this team with Booster Energy, Cork Drive ability, Terra type Ghost, with Freeze Dry, Icy Wind, Hydro Pump, Protect. Also seems like a fairly standard Iron Bundle to me. Just from what I'm seeing.
Yep. Ghost to avoid fake outs, and yeah, standard Iron Bundle.
Yeah. Icy Wind for the Icy Wind shenanigans, Pump for Pump, Freeze Dry to Freeze Dry. It hits everything.
Yeah. Speaking of hitting everything, we have everyone's favorite canonical person with a 3-mon body count. It's Ogerpon! With her Hearth Flame Mask, Mold Breaker for the ability, Terra type of Fire, of course. Ogerpon, can't change that.
When you Terra type Ogerpon Flame Mask, what happens?
Plus attack.
Plus attack. Okay.
Exhaustion when it Terras, and Mold Breaker until then.
Cool.
It's got Ivy Cudgel, which is a 100 base power, 100 accuracy, high crit fire move. Grassy Glide, because Rillaboom's here, which makes this pretty terrifying. Swords Dance, and Spiky Shield. I'm glad to see that she is just as terrifying in doubles as she is in singles.
Yeah.
If not more. Like, this is terrifying to me.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the Grassy Glide, when I just saw that, I'm like, oh god, that is so good right now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I saw that and went, oh. And then I saw Swords Dance and went, oh. And then I saw Spiky Shield and went, oh.
Can't fake out what's gonna hurt you.
Yeah, that's nasty.
And honestly, I'm looking at the metagame, there's like one Pokemon in this top that it doesn't hit super effective, or at least neutral on, with either of its stabs, which is terrifying. Maybe two.
Iron Hands is going to help you catch these hands with his Assault Vest, Quark Drive its ability with Terra Water, Fake Out, Wild Charge, Heavy Slam, and Drain Punch.
And I think the one thing that doesn't hit effectively is also on this team. Am I right, Shark?
Yep, that's right. That being Heatran.
It hits neutrally because of Mold Breaker.
Oh, you're right. Oh my gosh, you're right. It does hit through that. So it is neutral.
Yeah, so if they have a Heatran, you just don't Terra until you know if it's there or not.
That means, like, based off the 12 type mons, the only Pokemon that Ogerpon can't hit neutrally is Chi-Yu. But it's Chi-Yu, so you're just gonna 2-ko it anyway. So
No, you're gonna one-shot it with Grassy Glide in terrain after a Sword Stance.
Yeah, exactly that.
Actually, I want to know that calc now. Alright, I'm gonna find this out.
Well, while he's doing that, Shark.
Yeah, so Iron Hands being one of the new popular mons over Fluttermane, I guess I'll go back to Heatran. Heatran first. Heatran, Life Orb, Flash Fire, Terra Fairy, Heat Wave, Flash Cannon, Earth Power, and Protect. So it's just going to hit hard, at least try to resist Ogerpon and Rillaboom, and just kind of... the Heat Wave spam seems pretty good here in this metagame right now, so... As long as these Terra mons don't fire.
I assume Ogerpon is normally Jolly, or is it Adamant?
Probably Jolly. You gotta...
Probably Jolly.
You want to creep Fluttermane still, even though it's not... Fluttermane is still up in the top 3 usage, but based off of Peoria results, it's not hands down the best mon. The top 3 kind of, you can flip between them now. One being Iron Hands because it just does its Iron Hands fake out bulky stuff. Fluttermane because it's Fluttermane. And this last Pokemon, Landorus Therian. It's back for real now. This one is rocking Choice Scarf with Intimidate. It's got Stomping Tantrum, U-Turn, Terra Blast Flying, and Rock Slide. So it's there just to kind of be the thing that's faster than everything else, aside from priority.
If you were wondering, +2 Terra and Ogerpon in grassy terrain with Grassy Glide at level 50 does around 79 to 93% to Chi-Yu. Which I don't consider a resist.
I don't consider that resist. Even if it wasn't +2. Like, even if he just like, a Terra'd, get the +1, but then Intimidate from a Landorus drops it back down, or the Hisuian Arcanine, is like...
You fake out that Chi-Yu once, it's gone.
2-kos with an assist.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And I believe Thatch would say if you want to get the team something Patreon, maybe that might be there.
Yeah.
I assume he says something like that. But yeah, that's it for our Poke of the episode, and we'll catch you on over with the mailbag.
It's mail time! It's time for the mailbag! Send in your emails!
And we are back with our mailbag segment. And as always, our mailbag is sponsored by the fictional energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves.
Yeah. And last week we asked, what are you nostalgic about with Pokemon, or what is your favorite nostalgia when it comes to Pokemon, and all that kind of fun stuff. I was on the episode last week and I don't even remember the exact question we asked. But we have a couple of great emails coming in today. And I'll leave it to Lynian to start us off.
Alrighty, this one comes to us from Tia. Bugcatcher Tia here. I forgot to send in my letter last week. My favorite bugs are Snom and Buzzwole. That's an interesting pairing, but I appreciate it. One of my least favorite bugs is Lurantis, only because I had a horrible dream about it where they grew house-shaped and spawned more Lurantis that grew house-shaped when they were defeated.
It's a funny thing because Lurantis isn't a bug type.
That's the best part about that.
It is a bug shape, but it is not a bug type. When you think about it, bug is the most important type in the game because without the inspiration of bug catching, we would not have this amazing franchise. As for nostalgia, I think kids now will never know what it's like to grow up with the start of the franchise. Yeah. They know Pikachu and Charizard rule over Pokemon in terms of popularity, but they don't know why. We got to see Pikachu's development from disobedient mouse to loyal friend to world champion. We got to see Charizard's transformation from unreliable rebel to dependable ace. Nope, we just got to see Charizard explode because Charizard is a dragon, and kids were 10. I think there's also a sense of wonder that is missing with the Pokemon now. I saw a post on r/PokemonTCG where some kids got upset their Arcanine EX did not cost that much. I remember going through the Ruby and Sapphire guidebook with my friends and being so surprised about the new designs of Pokemon that we never saw before. Also miss stuff like Koro leaks and retail collabs. That's all for now. Tia.
I'll say about the kids complaining that their Arcanine EX did not cost that much. That is PokeTuber, specifically like Jake Paul era types. That's their fault. They turned kids into gambling addicts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will never not be mad about that. Not because it made the cards cost too much, not because of anything like that, but because these people directly have been responsible for the financialization of childhood, and I hope they hate that about themselves.
Well, because I don't think there's as much like, oh, we're on the playground, we're playing with the cards, and we're just gonna trade for, you know, because I like this Pokemon, you like this Pokemon. Now it's, oh, this costs this much money, this costs this much money. You gotta give me something else.
Because that's what their celebrities are telling them matters. And that's a shame, and those people should be disappointed in themselves. I'm legitimately mad about this. Anyways, Tia, you're lovely.
Yes, okay. But let's move on to the next one. All right, Shark, take it away.
This is from Two Crow. Hi-de-ho, Pokerinos. I live in nostalgia for Pokemon these days. Sure, I play every new game as they come out, but more often than not, I'm busy playing Gens 1 through 6. When do I feel the most nostalgic? Typically, it's when I'm playing an earlier game around my nephews and niece. Far too many times do I get laughed at for battling trainers instead of using EXP candy when I'm playing Emerald, or not having a team of 6 legendaries by the 4th badge, in Crystal. In Arceus Forbid, I don't have a full team of shinies in Blue. When they remind me of just how easy the new games are, I feel a real sense of longing for a return to games where Rotom wasn't there to hold my hand every step of the way. I don't think I realized just how ambivalent I am to the current games until I found myself rather uninterested in the Teal Mask, which I've yet to complete. Where has nostalgia helped me? Surprisingly, the TCG. Earlier this year, I finished collecting the original base set, and I'm currently 7 cards away from completing the Jungle and Fossil sets. And as you all have discussed in recent weeks, the recent 151 expansion was released. It is the first expansion I have truly been excited for, and I intend to complete it. I've already spent far too much money on booster packs, and now I'm starting to look for singles I'm missing. Take care, Drew Crow.
No, I completely understand that. Like, the Pokemon games being easier now than they were back then. Like, that's why a lot of the times, if you people see me on stream, I'm playing a random, hardcore Nuzlocke of a ROM that's slightly harder, just because it makes it more of a challenge, and I don't need all of the new Pokemon to have the same type of game.
Sure. I think that a lot of it is just that they expected you to do a lot more grinding and stuff, which has been pulled out of that. I think the games were always intended to be about as quote-unquote hard as they are now. Particularly things like Scarlet and Violet, actually, I think stepping up the difficulty if you weren't doing a ton of raiding and candying.
100%.
What the old games let you do is not do the grinding, and therefore have a tighter challenge where these, by not requiring them, kind of guarantee you're going to be at that expected level. But it was just like, particularly I think kids just don't know. You were expected, if you got a JRPG, to spend several hours doing nothing other than knocking out random encounters in an area for nothing other, for quite literally no reason beyond experience points, because that was how games worked. The fact that you can just play through doing the story now and some side quests, that is a new change because grinding sucks.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, it doesn't add challenge to the game. It just ends up costing time.
Yes. Which is fine.
It's usually, like, fine, but it's like sometimes you just, I like the access to, like, the quality of life features, making it easy, because I don't have time to play all the game, like, spend a bunch of time grinding anymore.
See, and that's why I like some of the challenges that I end up doing with a lot of these older games is it makes it more difficult. So my time is not, so the time I'm spending is less on the grinding and more on, all right, how do I make this battle in my favor? Mm-hmm. How do I do this tough challenge? Because it becomes much more of almost like a roguelike game than a Pokemon game, which, is fun in its own set. Because it's, all right, I have these challenges I have to do. How do I use the resources at my, disposal to make this happen?
Yeah.
Without, jeopardizing something else later on in the game. And, that's a lot where at least my nostalgia comes from.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On to our last email of the day. It is from Carr. How's it go, Thatch and Co? There's no Thatch today. Thatch is in Japan, and I am here as Claude. But yes, we are Co. Car here was probably my sappiest email yet. It was so great hearing about what's nostalgic for you guys last week. I myself have fond memories of being Poke-obsessed as a kid. I got a Leaf Green when I was 8, but could never beat Lorelei, probably because I had played the entire game with just Charizard, like a basic Poke kid that I was. That ended up trading my game at church for the objectively better Emerald that had just come out. Boy, that other kid got the short end of the stick. Now granted, I love Pokemon like Leaf Green. It's one of my favorite games. I don't know why, but I just loved the remake of Red because I spent so much time there. But anyways, back to the email. I have a core memory of my older brother threatening to steal my GBA because of how often I would talk about Pokemon. I even wrote a paper in 5th grade all about Numel. Alright, if you have that paper still, please just find a way to post that in chat or send that in as an email because I want to read that now. I think that's interesting.
Out of all the Pokemon, it's Numel. I love it.
Exactly. I'm so curious what you could spend in 5th grade talking about Numel on. So, if you have it, great.
Numel backwards is lemon.
I guess it is lemon. I only ever fell off at the start of Gen 4, but came back with Platinum because the Distortion world looked so cool. That's it, until Swish. Those games just didn't do anything for me, and I pretty much stayed away until Legends Arceus. Now for the mushy part. After Arceus, a friend of mine started working on a way to play it in D&D. I searched for such a thing, and I found Professor Snatch's PTU campaign, which led me to Puckle. Puckle has become a ritual to me. I look forward to it every week. In fact, Puckle's gotten me into parts of Pokemon that I never tried before, like competition. With Puckle mentioning it every week, I decided to enter VGC for the Peoria Regionals this past weekend. Oh my gosh. Awesome. I never experienced anything like that before. So many people all together, connected by one common love of Pokemon. I even went 1-6, which was impressive to me because I had less than a week to team build and didn't even have enough money to EV train. I made friends and even got some Discord IDs to train with people later. None of this would have occurred to me if I hadn't started listening to the podcast. You've generally changed my life. For that, I thank you, Car. Well, that's awesome. That's so sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Also, hey, if you're in the Discord server, let me know. The reason being, if you're playing PTU, if you got in through that, if that's something you're doing, I've got all the Gen 9 conversion. This is a general thing in the Discord server. If you play that, just let me know. Pass along your documents. It's updated through the newest stuff, so just let me know.
Yeah, and that's awesome that, you're getting into it. I love when Puckle can bring people together. And if you find yourself at more tournaments, I'm sure, posting Puckle, people will be there. I think we usually have somebody at most, if not every tournament. I think somewhere, sometimes.
There's usually someone, and we have a Discord channel for VGC, the competitive Duttables there, that people have spitballed stuff in and out, so there'll be someone for sure.
Yeah, and worst case, need help EV training, I'm sure there's people that have and can help with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Any way we can help is, that's what brings us all together, is, our love for Pokemon. Alright, well, I think I know who I want to give the green Tauros badge to.
I think so, too.
As long as it's Car, I think I agree.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, Car.
And Car, you get the green Tauros badge. Hooray!
Yeah. Pick someone in the middle. Pick someone and we'll make sure you get it.
I already gave it to him.
Never mind.
You're all set.
One step ahead.
We're one step ahead of the bread line.
Oh, no. All right. And with that, thank you everyone for listening in to the mailbag and to Puckle this week. Thatch should be back next week. And for everyone here, I have been Claude9.
I've been Lynian.
I've been Sharkfinnigan.
And this has been the Puckle Podcast out of the Lavender Town Radio Tower. Until next time, it's closing time.
Time in Lavender Town. Time to say our goodbyes. It's closing time. Farewell, my friends. I'll catch you on the flip side.